Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to today's Sword of Corvallaria video. So in today's Sword of Corvallaria video, I'm going to talk about my free-to-play game plan on global release and sharing how I will be building up my free-to-play account on global itself. So first of all, right, just a disclaimer, at least within, I'll say like the first week of progression, I'll probably build up my account free to play first because I want to showcase to the different players that this game is very free to play friendly and you can progress pretty comfortably even if you're not spending in the game itself. But as usual, right, if you like a game and you do enjoy and you will be playing for quite a bit, feel free to spend a little bit of money to just buy the battle pass or maybe just buy a first purchase to support the game itself. Okay, so with that disclaimer out of the way, let me start with the very first topic as a free-to-play player, and that is character prioritization. Am I going to reroll? What are the characters that I'm looking out for? So if you're a free-to-play player, right, the very first character or the strongest character to look out for is going to be Gloria. So Gloria is a very powerful character because of her faction, because of what she can do, as well as the amount she can do as a character, and lastly her meta longevity. So this character is just really good and she lasts for quite a bit. So as a free-to-play player, you have a really good character to build upon, and then you can just choose 4 other characters to build together with her. So that's one strength that Gloria has over Barrel as well as Cole. But right, even if you don't have Gloria, if you're fortunate enough to get Barrel, for example, right, or even Cole, for example, I think you still would have a really good start. So I personally don't own Gloria on this account, but as a free-to-play player on TW server with Barrel, I'll say she's very beginner friendly because she has this ability to regenerate her own energy, right? She also has this ability from the skill sense. So effectively, right, in a turn, right, just by moving, just by attacking, just by doing the normal stuff, she can auto regenerate her energy bar, which makes her very energy savvy, and that is very beginner friendly because you can consistently spam her skill. So in the early game, at least at where I am right now, she has a very powerful single target skill that's able to do penetration, and she also has an AoE burning skill that's able to burn the enemies. So she's good both on the single target front as well as the AoE front. So if you don't have Gloria but you got Barrel, I think that's also an amazing choice, and Barrel lasts pretty long as well. For Cole's case, I'll say Cole is a seeker character, not really my kind of thing in terms of a free-to-play player's perspective, because for most assassins you will need quite a developed account to unleash their full potential, because for assassins wise, their playstyle is running in front, burst the enemy, and then try to escape and reposition themselves. So if you want to burst people as quickly as possible, then you want to have as much stats as possible, right? So that is usually not the case for the free-to-play accounts. So for free-to-play accounts, if you have a really good frontliner, you can shoot your magical balls with Barrel in the backline, or buff your frontliner or your other allies with the likes of Gloria while doing damage with her. So in general, I'll be focusing on Barrel as well as Gloria more, but to each their own. If you have other characters that you like, you can also go for them based on your personal preference. So in terms of how I'll be building up my account, the 3 free-to-play characters that are definitely available. Number 1, it's Maisha. So Maisha's a pretty decent frontliner that's able to block hits for your ally. So she is a very free-to-play friendly character because, as you guys can see right here, my 3-star on my Maisha is completely from me just progressing in the game itself. So she's quite accessible for free-to-play players, and she will definitely make a good frontliner. So if you're able to back her up with like 2 healers, right, she will definitely be able to tank up for your team as well as provide the support for the team. Then you can maybe run like 2 supports with Maisha plus 2 damage dealer, or if you are very confident with your team or you're confident with your skills itself, you can even just run Maisha together with 1 support healer, because Maisha herself can heal as well. Then you can run like 3 DPS in the team itself. So those are the different ways you can do team building with her. But if you have better tanks in the highest category, the UR, for me the rainbow base is called UR, but some people call it SSR. So if you have a better tank, right, you want to develop them further, then you can skip Maisha, right, if you are free to play, because I think for free to play players, I think the gacha system will be one of the limiting factors. So in terms of getting good frontliners, there are some, I'll say 4 stars that are pretty good, which I'll talk about later. But if you don't have any other tank that's better, I think Maisha's a pretty good choice. As for Rawiwa's case, right, so for Rawiwa's a pretty powerful late game character, but in the early game I feel that she's slightly lackluster, so I decided to drop her even though I upgraded her levels quite a bit. So I do use her from time to time for her high mobility as well as her ability to just hold enemies in place. So she can be a decently versatile character for PvE progression, but there are a lot of better damage dealers out there, right? There's better 4-star AoE damage dealer. There's also better rangers that can snap off targets even more easily as well. So in general, I think I won't develop Rabiba, but for her, she's a decent choice if you like her design, you like her gameplay, and you want a highly mobile seeker unit that runs around, do massive AoE damage. She's also pretty decent late game, but that is late game stuff, so I won't be focusing too much on that because late game is like level 60 plus, but I've been playing for quite a bit and I'm only level 30 plus, so I think level 60 is going to be quite a bit. So for you to see whether or not you enjoy the game, I think enjoying the early mid game would be the way to go as a free-to-play player. Okay, so that's for my UR SSR UR, right? UR for me, rainbow base is called UR, so those are my UR focus or SSR unit focus. And right, for the golden base focus, so people call it the SR category, in terms of the SR category, this would definitely be the focus group for most free-to-play players, because there are some really powerful golden base character or 4-star character or SR character, right, based on how you guys see it. So number one, it's called Angel. So Angel right here is, I'll say, the best healer after Inanna as well as Samantha. So in my reroll plan, I'm gonna go for Gloria or Barrow, right? If I get Gloria and Barrow, then I won't be going for Inanna. So then I will be going for Angel as my support, because you can get a free copy of her from doing the story progression missions, and right, you can also get her from the gacha itself. So if you do get her, you can definitely train her up. Very powerful healer with massive AoE heals, massive single target heal as well. So right here, you choose a target, and then like all the units around the area, for example, in your ally, if they're clumped up, you can heal them a lot. Very powerful heal there. And on top of that, she also has a massive single target heal right here, right? So you can heal one ally for a massive amount. So very powerful healer in the game for the 4-star category. Very easy to upgrade as well. So very free-to-play friendly, and it's definitely one unit you all guys want to look out for. So for today's video, I'm not going to talk about all the good 4-star character or the SR character, because there's quite a bit of them, so I'll save it for another video. But I'm just gonna talk about some of the units which I will be looking out for myself, because I have a team building idea for my free-to-play account. So that's for Angel. So Angel right here is really good. So next one we have this archer over here, this light archer. So I call it light archer because this element is the strongest element right here, as you guys can see. So very powerful archer here, guardian archer. So his Chinese is called Shen En. So this archer right here is very powerful in the single target damage department, and if you're able to buff him up, which is quite achievable if you went for Angel, right? Angel right here, she's also the Watcher faction as well, very powerful faction. So with her as well as this guy, you have a pretty decent core that's able to do damage as well as heal. Then you slot in Barrow, for example, like myself. Then you have a mage damage dealer, and then if you have a good tank, you can use the good tank as your main tank. If not, you can use Maisha as the intermediary for your frontliner itself. So this is a very good single target damager. Works even better if you can find different ways to buff him up, which is quite easy if you get the really good supports in the game, right? If you got Inanna's pretty good buffer. If you got Gloria can buff your team up as well. So this character is gonna fit well into those different teams, especially because of this faction being really strong in the game itself. Okay, the Watcher faction right here, just insane, just based on the elemental counter category. So there are other 4-star characters which are really good that you guys might want to keep a lookout for. This is the Fengbao Shenfu. So this is the mercenary X-girl. So this is one of the strongest 4-star AoE attacker, with a very powerful skill set that can allow her to swing multiple times, causing massive AoE damage. So she's really powerful for the AoE department. So if you need an AoE attacker, which you will definitely need in certain situations, she is a very cheap and good unit that you want to look out for, as well as it develop if you have her. So that's for the AoE side. So there's also Anxing. So this dark mage girl is also pretty decent. This Li Ren, which is sort of like a crossbow assassin type of character. Really good as well, and very beginner friendly because he has self survivability with this evasion ability, right? So he's able to gain evasion for 2 turns, which reduces the damage or reduces the chance of him being hit, which sort of keeps him alive for a lot longer. So this character is also very good. So these are the few 4 stars that you guys should be looking out for, right? For a more comprehensive 4-star or SR category, I'll wait until the actual release to give them a term, because I'll be releasing it on the day of global release, so stay tuned for that. Right, so if you want a more comprehensive one to see what are the different 4 stars you want to look out for, then do it for my tier list or my CN research tier list itself. So those are the characters that I'll be building up as a free-to-play player. And next, I will be talking about the progression or just general day 1, day 2 progression for free-to-play player, as well as the different energy management stuff that you guys might want to take note of. So on the very first day, I think for most free-to-play players, the max chapter you can push through is chapter 1, because there's some level gating in the game, and the levels, or more specifically your player levels in this game, is sort of limited by the amount of energy you have for the day itself, right? So for example, if you take a look at my account on the TW side, I'm currently at level 32, right? The amount of EXP I need to level up is 880, so I need at least 760 energy to level to the next level for my account, because every 1 point of energy equals to 1 EXP. So if you're a whale, if you're spending, obviously you're able to buy the different energy potions from the shop. You're able to buy out the energy bar from the shop itself from here, right? So you can buy out the energy with gems. For free-to-play players, usually I'll buy the very first one, because the very first one gives you 120 energy for 60 gems. Other than that, don't buy it, right? That 60 gem for 120 is really quite expensive, but it will help you progress a little bit faster if you're somebody who values progression. And then the remaining gems should be saved for your gacha pulling, right? Stronger units gives you an easier time as well. So that's something to take note of as a free-to-play player. So the more you buy, the more expensive it gets. And as usual, as a free-to-play player, right, you don't really care about progressing too fast. You just want to make sure that your general pacing as well as the unit investment is of the highest value. So that's why I encourage at most buying out one time for this part. And then you can also get more energy with the potions. So as a free-to-play player, you will have a limited number. So that's why I say the max you can push through is probably level 18 or 19 or even 20 on the very first day of game release, because you are limited by the energy, right? Subsequently, every single day as you progress through, you will find your pacing slowing down a little bit, because the higher level you go, the more EXP you need, and then that's where you need more energy. So in terms of general progression itself, obviously you would want to push through story as much as possible until you are level gated, because when you're farming through the story, there will be some level gating in chapter 1 itself. I can't remember the exact level to unlock 1-1, but if I remember correctly, it's like level 12 or level 17. So there is some sort of level gating there. So you just got to push through your story contents as much as possible and level up your characters accordingly. So the more you push through the contents, you actually get like your level up resources or upgrading resources from just the story mode itself. So generally, you don't have to farm up resource dungeons that early. And once you push through a certain stage and you get level gated, that's where you move to the resource dungeon, and then you start farming the resource dungeons over here. So for the resource dungeon, right, this resource dungeons unlocks with levels. So you'll start off with the EXP one, then you'll start off with this one, and then if I remember correctly, I think the character shot is the third one, but I just can't remember the exact levels itself. So you guys might want to plan your resource farming routes. But for most cases, eventually you have to clear through the base dungeons anyway. So what I would suggest is if you have excess energy and you are level gated for the general story, just farm up level 1, level 2, level 3. And on top of that, there's this bonus resource upgrading emblem over here, which means means that for certain stages, once you're done with the first clear, if you farm it again, you get more resources. So that's higher energy efficiency that you guys can use. So for the very first day, I think just push through story, and then once you are done with pushing, right, once you are level gated, then move to the resource dungeon, clear out the first clear, get your 3 stars, and then you can progress and get the auto farm feature, right? So right here, this is the auto farm feature. So this is how the auto farm feature looks like. So based on the stage here, there is different criteria. So you need to choose 2 characters that level 20, that's 25 and above. So I'm going to choose these 2 characters. So the features itself, they will also unlock with progression. So auto farm, I think, doesn't come so early. I think it's chapter 2 or a chapter 3 thing. So that's something that is for the later part, and that's for the resource dungeon farming side. So I'll be covering more on what are the dungeons that are more optimal in the mid game, because in the early game, generally you want to clear through the base levels, because you need to clear through the base level in order to unlock the higher level ones eventually. So if you're able to farm them as early as possible, right, just to spend up your energy itself, I think it's perfectly fine to just farm them. You see, I don't even get 3 stars for this because it's not that important, because eventually you move on to the higher level dungeons where you get more resources from farming. So that's why just farm them as early as possible, right? Just get it done, and then later on you'll be able to move to the higher stages to farm better. So that's for the resource as well as energy management side. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for the free to play side. Pretty much all the things I want to cover, at least for this video. So other than that, I think joining a guild is really important, because joining the guild gives you free resources for not doing anything. Like, as long as your guild is active, which I'm pretty sure in the first few weeks of gameplay itself, there probably will be a lot of active guilds. Just go in, join the guild. There's this guild member activeness rewards, as you guys can see. So there's a gem here, very important for free to play player. There's also some additional gold, right? So I think this is a gem, or this is more gold, and the last one is gold as well. So these are all, wait, hold on. Oh, this is not a gold. This is one of the exchange currencies that you can exchange for resources within the shop. So let me go into the shop to show you guys what you guys can exchange for. Okay, so 旅人的商店. Let me just give me a moment. Let me find the shop. 声望商店. Yeah, so this is the reputation store. So you can buy different resources with the reputation points. So you get reputation points by joining the guild. You also get reputation points by sending gifts to your friends. So do add your friends up in the friend side, send each other gift for this reputation point, and you can buy all these goodies here on a weekly basis within the reputation shop itself. So that's it for all the free to play caveats, as well as how I'm gonna develop my free to play account moving forward, at least for the global side. Thank you very much for tuning in. Do remember to like and subscribe to follow my journey on Sword of Corvallaria global server, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.